You good? Are we recovered? Collars versus harnesses. Both are really great pieces of equipment, but when should you use which? Collars are really good for a little bit more directional guidance and clear communication when you are training your dog. But harnesses can be great tools for car safety, for snifaris, or just exploration walks, or if you do want your dog to pull. We often train dogs not to pull against their neck for safety purposes and for more clear communication for training, but there are instances when it can be good exercise or it can be appropriate behavior, and pulling from a harness where they can put a little more power in their chest is a little bit safer and more fun for them. But that being said, that also means that these are not anti-pull devices. So we like to use both. When your dog is just exploring or having fun, harnesses are great. When you're working on training or clear communication, collars are a little bit better. It is important when you are picking out a harness that we pick out one that will properly fit our dog and also have the correct structure so that we make sure it is safe on their joints, muscles, especially if they are going to pull on it. You want a harness that is going to be a little bit more of a Y shape across your dog's chest that goes between their legs and across their shoulders. And you want it properly fit to make sure that it is snug but not too tight, and definitely not dangling because it will put pressure in the wrong spots. So the difference in walking your dog on a harness versus on a leash, again, is going to be the ability to just kind of pull and do whatever they want versus a little bit more direction. When you are teaching a dog to walk on a collar versus a harness, you do have to actually teach the dog to walk loose on the collar versus being allowed to pull on the harness. Dogs can differentiate equipment if they are taught properly, just like Howdy here, but you want to make sure that you do actually show them what you want on each piece of equipment differently. They will not inherently know not to pull on one versus the other. If you are working specifically on not pulling with your dog on their collar, harnesses can be a good tool to use when you do not have the ability to be very specific with your leash communication on your collar, such as quick potty breaks at your apartment complex, or when you don't have any sort of rewards on you. So you can utilize the harness to make sure that you are very intentional every time the collar and leash are on. The only times we want to avoid a harness are, one, it is harder to train on them because you do not have quite as much directional pull when you are pulling from a harness. We also want to avoid front clip harnesses. There's not even really a clip on this harness here, because when you have a dog pulling on a front clip harness, it can really mess up their alignment and structure, especially if you have a young dog who is still growing. Another piece of equipment you may want to avoid is a head halter. You may have seen these pieces of equipment where it goes across your dog's nose and up behind their ears. The reason why we suggest avoiding these pieces of equipment is because they can rub on your dog's face and injure their neck a little bit. While they do seem very helpful in giving a little bit of extra direction, if your dog hits the end of it quite hard, it can really hurt their neck. If a head halty were to lessen pulling, it is going to be mainly out of discomfort more so than anything else. While head halties and front clip harnesses and things like that may seem like a quick fix, it is much more worthwhile to teach your dog what you want from them, even if it is equipment based, as opposed to just working off of discomfort. Because the moment you take those things off, the dog will not have actually learned anything. Good job. Do you feel better?